All right. It's a good question right here. When Christ returns, are we going back to sacrificial laws as well as stoning people? What do y'all brothers think? Let's see. What do y'all think? We're gonna be stoning people in the kingdom? We're gonna have superpowers stoning people. What do y'all say, brothers? Yay or nay? Okay, all right. So let's get some precepts so we can understand that. Second Esdras, chapter 9. Second Esdras, chapter 9. And let's start at verse 5. Are we going to be stoning people and sacrificing in the kingdom? Read that.
Second Ezra chapter 9 verse 5.
Uh-huh.
For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end,
Uh-huh.
and the end is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest have planned beginnings, and wonders and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs.
So that's how you know the end is coming, when you start seeing these signs. Go ahead.
And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works.
You're going to be able to escape how?
By his works.
So it is about works. Go ahead.
And by faith.
Works and faith. We read that in James, right? Faith without works is what, brothers? Dead being alone. Go ahead.
Whereby ye have believed, and shall be preserved from the said perils.
Okay, let me go back up to that. Just hit me. It says, saved by his works and by his faith, whereby ye have believed. So we can tell how much you truly believe by your works. If you ain't doing nothing, you don't believe. You just lip service. You do not believe at all. Go ahead, verse 8.
And shall be preserved from the said perils,
Mm-hmm.
and shall see my salvation in my land.
Read on.
And within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
He said, I sanctified them for me from the beginning. Go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1. I'm tied together here. I sanctified them that are going to be saved to me from the beginning. Right? Let's read that. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1, verse 12.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 12. Seek not death in the error of your life, and pull not upon yourself destruction with the works of your hands. For God made not death.
God made not death. Read on.
Neither had he pleasure in the destruction of the living.
So what does that mean, that God made not death? But you read in Isaiah 45, I think it's 7, where he says, I create light and dark, I create evil and good. What does that mean? That he says he created, God made not death. Does any brother know? God does a lot of killing. He says, I kill, I make alive. But he said, I didn't make death. I can't say it. Yeah, you got to tell me again. I know it starts with an R. I've been saying it wrong.
He made man to
Name, so everybody know.
Renard.
There we go. Okay, what does that mean?
He made man to live forever.
There you go. He made man to live forever. But man made him start killing people. Because the wages of sin is what? He didn't make that. He just perfected it to a whole nother level. Read verse 13 again.
For God made not death, neither had he pleasure in the destruction of the living. For he created all things that they might have their being. And the generation of the world were helpful, and there is no poison of destruction in them.
Read on.
Nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. For righteousness is immortal.
For what?
Righteousness is immortal.
Remember, we're lining up these precepts. The question is, are we going back to sacrificial laws as well as stoning? But God just said righteousness is immortal forever, right? All right, go to Revelation 21. Revelation 21, let's read 1 through 5. You got to read it quick. Speed up the reading. Turn his mic up, too. Revelation 21, 1 through 5.
Revelations chapter 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven.
There we go.
And a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea.
Meaning people. Go ahead.
And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
That's how beautiful it looked. It looked like it came down from the heavens, right? Go ahead.
And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them. And they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God.
Mm-hmm.
And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
So if there's no more death, what is the one thing we won't be doing? Based off his question, brothers. What is it? Y'all all over the place. The question is, when Christ returns, are we going back to sacrificial laws as well as stoning? What was the main reason for stoning somebody? To put them to death. You stone people to kill them. Right? So God says in the kingdom, when the kingdom comes, he's wiping away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death. Read on.
And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I will make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful.
These words are true and faithful. Read verse 8.
Verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
Which is the second death. They don't leave for that. They ain't even getting there. They not even going to get the chance to get there. They're going to be left here, and Officer Abadar is going to show you a glimpse of what it's going to look like. Man, the Most High. This is why the scriptures say, watch as well as pray. Because the Most High will put signs out there. He'll lay it right before your eyes. And if your spiritual eyes are not opened up, you will not see what he's talking about. Officer Abadar is going to bring it out. I'll let him do that. All right, jump up to verse 10.
Verse 10. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God, having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone, most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal.
So if you've picked up on it, you've read 2 times already where it talks about the kingdom of heaven coming down. We've been taught all our life that the kingdom of heaven's up in the sky somewhere, and we're going to be up there. There's 3 heavens. True, there is a heaven up there. But what did Christ say? Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. Where at? Kingdom of heaven's going to be here on earth. Right back where we prayed to, Jerusalem. We'll go into that one day. All right, verse 12.
And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
So there's not a name with a gate on it for Gentiles. There's not a name with a gate on it for Caucasians, Chinese people. Y'all come through here. This is y'all gate. No, there's 12 gates with the names of the children of Israel on them. That is it. So if some of y'all wanted to bring, Fu Wong and, Ahmad and Rebek, whatever they Hindu names be, jump over to verse 27. They not coming. And I am perfectly okay with that. Thy will be done, God. I will not argue with you. You created me. Verse 27.
Verse 27. And there shall in no wise enter into it.
Jump up to 25.
Verse 25. And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day. For there shall be no night there. And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination.
Sin.
Or make it a lie.
Sin.
but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life.
So your name has to be what you call it, RSVP. You have to be on the reservation list to get through the gates of the kingdom of heaven. It's not just no free pass into that everybody gets to go. No, your name has to be written in the book of life, in Christ's book of life. It says written in the Lamb's book of life. If Christ ain't got your name written down, no interest, denied, burn in the second death. All right, Isaiah 60. Isaiah 60. Let's read quick so we can get to offset. Isaiah 60, and let's read 9.
Isaiah 60, verse 9.
This is why none of those, what we just read, abominable, fearful, lying, whoremongers, sorcerers, all of that stuff's not getting in there, right? Let's read verse 9.
Isaiah 60, verse 9.
Now, you know what? We're going to skip that. Let's go straight to the verse. Verse 21.
Verse 21.
This is why they're not coming in. Go ahead.
Thy people also shall be all righteous.
Read it again.
Thy people also shall be all righteous.
Everyone that will enter into the gates of the kingdom, all of them shall be righteous. There's no sneaking in. This goes into the prayer I was reading that this morning, Matthew, where it says, Christ, he says, go out and call them in. And then he looks, he says, one that came in here, and Christ asked him, how'd you get in here? Who let you in? Bind him hand and foot and take him out and throw him in the fire. You not sneaking in. There ain't no sneaking. There will be no, you got a, what you call that, a provision for the flesh right here, still holding on to whatever you was. No, God says, all my people shall be righteous. Read it again.
Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever.
That's the kingdom. Go ahead.
The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified.
That I may be glorified. Here we go. Galatians. So, why was it a sacrificial law? Why was it? Galatians. Everybody going in shall be righteous. Not sneaking in. Galatians 3, and let's read verse 16.
Galatians chapter 3, verse 16. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. And he said not into seeds of many.
So pay attention to that. This is what they do not read in the Christian church. Right? It says Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He saith not, and to seeds as of many. That promise of Abraham giving him all this land that he sees, and his seed shall be multiplied as the stars of heaven. He wasn't talking to Abraham, said, all the nations shall be blessed in Abraham. That's talking about you being scattered, not all nationalities. Read it again.
Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made, and he said not into seeds as of many.
It ain't for everybody. The promises of Abraham are not for everybody. Christianity killer 101. Read on.
But as of one, and to thy seed which is Christ. And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before of God in Christ, the law, which was 430 years after, cannot disannul that it should make the promises of none effect.
So it says the law which was given 430 years after. How long was we in Egypt, brothers? 430 years. That's when you was given the law of sacrifice again. It said it will not make the promises of Abraham of none effect. Read on verse 19.
Verse 19. Wherefore, then served the law.
Why did he give you the law of animal sacrifice then? What was the point of giving it to us? Read.
It was added because of transgression.
Because of what?
Transgression.
It was added because of sin. The wages of sin is what, brothers? And nobody on earth is sinners but Israel. So instead of wiping out the whole nation, guess what he gave you? An animal to kill in your place. If it was no animal, whose life would have been on the line? Yours. For everything. Now, it was some stuff that God said, I don't want no animal. No. That is just foul and disgusting and diabolical. I want your life. I want your blood to be spilled to be forgiven of this sin. But you got other laws, statutes. If he does this, bring a lamb. He does this, bring a ox. He does this, bring that. That's why you was given the law of sacrifice. You got some? Okay, jump up to verse 23.
Verse 23. But before faith came, we were kept under the law.
Now this is how you know who Paul's talking to in Galatia. Pay attention to the words. So in case y'all run into somebody, throw in Galatians 3:9. What do they usually use? 3:28. There's neither Jew nor Greek, free nor bond. That's what they throw on you. Right? And if you don't know how to understand and pay attention to the details, you'd be caught up like, hey, you're right. That sounds good. I'll be there on Sunday. So you got to.
That's when you start to switch, you know.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. I got to search out the truth for myself. So read verse 23.
Verse 23. For before faith came.
Who's the faith that we have in now, brothers? Christ. Before he came, read on.
We were kept under the law.
We were kept under the law. We were kept under the law. If you just stop right there, who is Paul talking to in Galatia, brothers? Israel. That's easy. Stop right there. But just to let you know, give you another precept. So write this beside verse 23, 1 Peter chapter 1. Let me show you something. Learn some things on the way to learning some things. Right? Is that what I want? Yep. 1 Peter chapter 1. And let's read verse 1 and 2.
1 Peter chapter 1, verse 1. Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus.
What's the precept to show us what those strangers are? What's the precept, brothers? Call it out. Just call it out. What's the precept? Okay, that's why we're here. Hold your finger here, and right beside this verse, put James 1, verse 1. Let's go to that. To show you who the strangers that are scattered are. Read that when you get it.
James chapter 1, verse 1. James, a servant of God and of the Lord of Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
To the what?
12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
Scattered abroad. Let's go back to 1 Peter 1 and 1.
1 Peter chapter 1, verse 1. Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus.
To the strangers scattered abroad. Now, Peter's going to name the places where they were scattered abroad that James was talking about. Read.
Throughout Pontus, Galatia.
Hold on, where?
Galatia.
Where at?
Galatia.
What's the book we was reading just a second ago, brothers? All right. Galatia. Read on.
Cappadocia.
Cappadocia.
Asia.
Asia.
And
Bithynia. Just
Bithynia.
In case you was confused on scattered, read verse 2.
Elect.
They what?
Elect.
Those strangers are what?
Elect.
They are elect. What's the precept for being elect? What's the precept, brothers? Let's see. Shemaiah, what you got? Who is the elect?
So Isaiah 45 and 4.
Isaiah 45 and 4. We ain't going to go to it, but right beside verse 2, put Isaiah 45 and 4 in your Bibles. This is where, because remember, I went over it earlier. Our weapons of warfare are what, brothers? It's the Bible. So how dare you go to war to cast down imaginations and your weapon is not finely tuned to cut them up, to get down to the spirit and the soul, down to the bone and the marrow, divide asunder. That's why I say put them in here. This is the sword. All right, so the elect, read on.
According to the foreknowledge of God, the Father through...
According to the knowledge, the foreknowledge of God,